Many thanks to Vet Attraction Vanilla servers, one original DayZ servers, Clash Vanilla servers, Sgt. Pepper's DayZ Invasion servers, Sea of Tools Cloud, Double Tap, DayZ Damned Hardcore and Vanilla servers, and We That Remain roleplay for making this video possible. The DayZ Frostline playtest has given us a first look at the new map Sakhal, so in this video we're going to be showcasing what this winter hellscape has to offer, briefly cover every point of interest that makes this map unique, check out every difference between Sakhal and Tanoa, and come to a conclusion on whether or not DayZ Frostline is worth buying at all. To start off with, while this video obviously does contain spoilers, I won't explain exactly which gear can be found in each location, and nor will I go over point of interest details such as interiors, stuff like that. This video is purely intended for those that want to get a good idea of what this map is all about before paying on the 15th. With that said, Sakhal shares a lot of similarities with Tanoa in terrain and location positioning, such as the volcano, quarry, most towns and villages being in the same locations. The biggest difference is how these three large chunks have been removed from Tanoa to make Sakhal, which is best shown here, and how these four islands are now connected together to the main island with land bridges. The main island's large port towns and capital city are in the same locations, with most coastal villages sharing similar positions and sizes, which is where player spawn points are located too. You can easily travel between coastal villages and port towns by following the coastline around the map or the concrete main road that encompasses the whole main island, which is where most players will be found, not just because players spawn in this area, but because it's much easier to survive at these lower altitudes. If you do want to go inland from here, you'll need to travel by dirt road over mostly barren tundras, sometimes stumbling across small villages, frozen ponds, and if you're lucky, animals to hunt. The higher you climb, the more snow litters your environment and the more claustrophobic the forest will become until you can finally breathe again on a mountain peak. All mountains have points of interest on them or near them and will gravitate you towards them if you use mountains to navigate, which you probably will with dense trees like this, with valleys between them giving you buildings to loot and rare protective caves, or leg-breaking ravines and the homes of wolves. If you instead want to explore the islands of Sakhal, you can do so by ice sheet, as you can run across them. They surround every single part of the coastline, but a much better way to get to these islands is by boat. However, most of these islands are barren of life and infected, but you can find loot and peace out here if you have the resources to survive without plentiful loot. The most obvious point of interest on Sakhal is the volcano, which is much taller than Tanoa's volcano, and so much taller that cars actually refuse to climb it and instead will turn around and then drive away on their own in fear. From the top of the volcano, you can circle around the rim and get the best views available in DayZ, putting that increased view distance in this patch to good use, giving you an overview of too many points of interest to count. The closest one is the base camp of the volcano, some kind of medical military area here, with other military camps being dotted throughout the main island mountains too, so there's loads of these different camps, most of the time in high altitude, hard to reach locations though. Each military camp is distinct from the others, with one of them being a prison facility with guards and inmates, another one housing a unique radome structure. There are lesser radome structures around the map, all next to military areas and all being on hills, which makes sense, much like the radio station is on a hill too, giving us amazing views from its nearby tower. From high positions such as these, you can spot hot springs very easily due to the texture on the ground, which can be used as a place to warm up, but they are all located in open areas, making them a very easy target for players and wolves. In the mountains, wolves are a major concern if you don't have the firepower to keep them at bay, so visiting open areas like the quarry on this map is incredibly risky and will make you miss the safer, warmer tundras of the lowlands. Thankfully, from nearly every mountain you can see pipes and power lines heading inland. These all lead to the lowland area of the middle of the main island, which is where the new geothermal power plant is positioned and offers a rest from mountain adventures with several villages to loot and hot springs to warm up at. If you want more loot, you can head south from here to the large town of Nagovo, and also the largest military area on the main island, Nagovo Airfield, with several unique buildings and assets and plenty of loot here. The largest military area on Sakhal though goes to this whole area here, which I'm calling Italy. In northern Italy you have several military port towns. One of these port towns has friggin' submarines, and you have a unique building in this area that is similar to the bunker on Livonia. Southern Italy has a port town too, surrounded by military areas and the new explorable hangar buildings, runways and unique shooting ranges, so there's a lot to explore here. Most of this area to the south is quite open, so this is going to be really good for squad play. Off the coast of Italy is the largest island off the main island, which I'm calling Sicily. This island is incredibly barren compared to the main island and Italy. Other islands around the map share a similar story, being mostly empty. You will find some stuff here, but once you've visited one of these small islands, you've pretty much visited all of them. However, there is one island that stands out, and this is the island in the north, which is actually two separate islands connected by rocks, so it creates this cool little archway underneath. I've been to all the islands and all major points of interest on Sakhal. It is an incredibly screenshot-worthy map, and at times you'll just stop to take a look around in awe of your surroundings, especially when you're in the mountains. On top of this, it is abundantly clear that a lot of love went into this map. Sakhal is mostly covered with details that also make you stop and ask questions such as what happened here or which creature made this their home. My favourite detail though goes to this visual storytelling of the lighthouse keeper putting their own survival before their duty of maintaining a lighthouse, abandoning their home and the scar of the daily commute to their work, resulting in a shipwreck just off the coast of this island. It's details like this that really do sell you the harsh apocalyptic setting of Sakhal, giving us not only the most beautiful vanilla map, but also the most immersive. Mechanically though, Sakhal does have some issues. The most glaring one is how painfully unfriendly this map will be to new players. Sakhal is DayZ on hard mode, and if you don't understand the basics of managing temperature or know basic crafting recipes, you are screwed and will probably get frustrated with this map. On the other hand, if you do know how to survive quite easily on maps like Chernobyl, Sakhal will push you to your limits and make you forget about your first world problems for a while as you struggle to keep your character alive, which means Sakhal's greatest strength is also its greatest weakness, but the devs have done something very clever to tackle this difficulty curve on Sakhal. The further you travel up into the mountains, the harder it becomes to survive. This allows for a soft difficulty setting that the player can adjust themselves based on their preferences and their skill level. If it's too hard to survive in the tundras and beyond, head back to the warmer loot-laden coastal villages for an easier time, but if you find the coast too easy, challenge yourself in the mountains against the extreme cold, lack of resources and relentless packs of wolves. Whatever your choice is, this map demands extra care and attention in maintaining your stats. You will be making fires a lot, you will become a master fisherman, and you will be dying a lot if you don't address the early warning signs. Due to this fact, you may find yourself switching back to Chernobyl if you're someone that enjoys PvP challenges more than survival challenges, which does raise some doubts about Sakhal's long-term appeal. In the short term though, Sakhal for sure will be an instant success, not only because console players will gobble this new experience up, nor for the imposing challenge of seeing if you can survive DayZ's hardest map, but because of the raw sex appeal of this map. A single screenshot could sell this expansion, and even if you do realise that you enjoy Chernobyl more in the future, Sakhal offers a survival challenge that can help keep DayZ fresh, with very likely content updates for this map triggering those returns. So based on what you've seen so far, will you be buying DayZ Frostline? Let me know your first impressions of Sakhal below. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.